the plastic roast. Be demons on my table, feeling the overload. Hand-painted figures lined up on the edge. In my basement, dreamland on the cutting edge.
G'day viewers, I'm Pinky, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the new plug-and-play system from Slot Car Haus. Now, it's quite a good system. The purpose of this system is to be able to light up components all the way around your track with a plug-and-play system. It makes it really easy for you to just chop and change. There's some guys out there who want to move models around on a regular basis, reconfigure their track. This is a great way to do that. Even if you're not and it's a permanent thing, this is still a really simple and easy way to put things together. Now, the system's been designed to work with all the new lighting products we have coming out, which includes our lighting towers, billboards, and of course the pit boxes. If you haven't seen these yet, look for the video. The modular pit box system, it's just fantastic. It's called the Mod Box range. Fantastic. Have a look. Now, the system that we have that's coming out now can be retrofitted to all the kits that we already produce. So if you've already got, say, a tower or a gantry that is available with lighting in the future, that lighting kit will also be able to fit that kit that you've already purchased. So it is retrospective, which is really handy. Now, one of the things that I will say is if you've purchased billboards from us before, you'll be familiar with the design. These heads are all interchangeable, and we have 3 different heights. Now, I've just got 2 here, the medium and the tall. Now, we're changing that design. It's basically the exact same billboard, and if you can get the head off your existing billboard, it'll fit straight onto the new one. But the new one will only come with lighting. But if you don't want lighting, you can actually just nip that off. Now, I'm sure you probably do want lighting, but if you don't, that's an option. So if you can get those heads off, especially the guys that have already bought acrylic ones, if you can pop those off, they'll fit straight on the new frame. And we do sell the frame by itself for you if you want to do that. It's a cheap way to upgrade rather than buying an entire billboard all over again. So, okay, so let's get into the system. All right, so the first thing you're going to need is your driver. Now, we've been working with a local company, Blue Moon LED, and they've helped us develop a driver specifically for what we're trying to do. What makes this unique to other drivers out there is that it has 6 ports. So you can actually plug 6 different items into this all at once. You don't see that on other drivers. Now, they come in 3 different sizes. There's an 18 watt, a 36 watt, and I believe the next one is a 90 or a 100 watt, which would be enough to run pretty much anything on your table that you can think of all at once. You may not want to do that, but if you are going to do it that way, one flick of the switch and everything's on, this is a great way to get started. So basically, the driver being plug and play can take any of our current lighting modules, right? So they're just going to plug straight into here like that, as you can see. Billboards, track lighting. There's even going to be street lighting as well coming out soon. So yeah, it's all in the pipe works. What else we got? Can we plug you in? Yeah, there we go. Very cool. So that's one way to sort of plug everything in, running 6 different components. Now, another option is to run more than 6 components. We have a 6-way junction box. Now, this junction box can actually plug into the driver, and then lights plug into that. As you can see, they're lighting up as I'm doing it. Now, what that means, I'm no maths genius, but 6 ports with a 6-way adapter allows you up to 36 individual units that can be plugged directly into the one driver. There's a good chance that you're not going to have 36 individual units all within, a metre of the driver. So we also have a range of extension cables. So we have a 500 mil, there's a 1 metre coming, and we have a 2 metre cable available now as well. So any one of these things you can just unplug, plug your 2 metre cable in, plug the light into that cable, and that can be anywhere around the track. So it's a really good system in that manner. You can just, as I said, you just plug and play. No need to cut and solder and mess around. 6 lights running off one thing is great. Now the other thing you can do with this is you can actually take this module here, being 6 ports, you can actually plug this directly into your driver, and then it has its own 2 metre cable. So this cable can stretch out around your table, and then there are 2 little screw holes here, so you can actually screw this to the side of the table or underneath the table. and then you can daisy chain these. You can plug another one into this one, and you can give yourself 5 ports. Obviously, you're gonna lose one. You can give yourself 5 ports at every point, every 2 meters around the track, which means at any point around the track, you can just reach under the table and start plugging things in, which is fantastic. Now, the downside to that is that everything runs together. So one master switch and it all turns on. So works fantastic, but very simple. But what you can do is take any of those components and interrupt it with a switch. Now, you can do it at the driver. That's probably the simplest. So plug that guy in there, plug your lighting in, or you can plug your 6-way module and run 6 different things off this one switch, or you can run that whole daisy chain going in one direction off one switch, a whole other daisy chain going the other way off another switch, etc. There's different ways of doing this. The whole idea is that it's plug and play, and it can be configured whichever way works for you. Pardon me. So plugging our light in like that. Now, you can't pick it up on the camera. There's a little blue ring around this switch. It's just a touch sensor, but that blue ring tells you that the driver is active. As soon as you touch that, you're going to be able to turn your lighting on and off, which I think is you. Let's plug something else in so it's a bit more obvious. Let's go with one of my favorites, the STP sign. All right, there we go, nice and bright. So just by touching that, we're on and off. Now, this is actually designed to recess into your table, so you can just drill a hole and pop that in, and it's done. Or make a mounting plate if you want to. And you can have a row of these, 6 of them coming off the driver that run to 6 different things around the track. One of the other things with this being a touch switch rather than just an active press switch, the reason we went with a touch switch is because you can actually press and hold that. And I don't know if you can pick that up in the camera, but that's actually just dimmed down. Now, if I press and hold again, it's actually going to dim it back up again. Right? So if we went with just like a toggle switch or something like that, you wouldn't be able to do that. So this gives you the option to do that to different components around the track. Obviously, it's going to work as a group. So if you run your 6-way junction off that switch and run 6 lights, they're all going to dim together or brighten together, which is great for street lighting, etc. Rather than have a bunch of street lights that all have to be soldered together, you can just plug and play straight into this. And if you want to move a street light or delete one or add one, just plug it in. Easy. So a great system, really easy to work with. Now, one of the things that we've done is we've adapted this to work with our Modbox system. So get rid of the switch and I'll show you what I mean. So basically, the Modbox system, which is pretty new to us as well, is a modular system for pit boxes. So as you can see, we've got our 3-door pit box on the bottom here. There's a few different bottoms, there's a few different centers. Now, this is fitted at the moment with the 2nd-story office building or office floor. So you can actually stack those right up and have a full office building. It looks fantastic. But what you can also do is take that off and add different modules. Now, the latest module that we just came out with is our new residential module. So as you can see there, it looks like a block of 4 units. Now, this actually comes with, you can't really see it very well on the camera there, but it comes with blanking plates. And as you can see, once you paint them black, it blacks out the window. So it looks like that person's not home, which is pretty cool. But basically, we just plug that together, stack those up like that, do the next one. Yeah. Right. Then we do our roof module. Now there's a few different roof modules as well. This is the party deck, or whatever you like to call it, observation deck. But there's also some skylights and observatories and things like that. So that's the full system. Now once we plug that in, as you can see, everything lights up quite nicely, and including the pit boxes. So quite a nice system. And as I said, you can go as high as you like. Now, because they're designed to plug and play together as a row of modules, it only has one feed running into that building. So you can actually set up your pit lane with stacks of these. You can have an office building, and then you can have a lower pit box with observation deck on top, and then you can have a residential block or whatever. and each individual tower has its own feed. And using the junction box, for example, you can actually run up to 6 different towers back to the one driver, so, and turn it all on together, which is great. So good little system. Now, one of the new things that we've just been working on, that's still a prototype and it's not available yet, but we've got this new sensor system that we've been working on, which I think is really cool. So basically the way it works, that's it there. As I said, it's a prototype, it's a little crude, so please bear with me, but basically what we do, we have 2 sensors which become an on and an off essentially. Now, the new design will have a bracket that fits into the side of a Carrera track, so that'll make it really easy to work with. But basically, these sensors sit on the side of the track. Now, you can do anything with these sensors. You can use them near your controllers, so you can wave your hand in front of them, or you can position one on one side of the track and one right over the other side of the track and have it do different things. But basically, you've got an on and an off. So when you hit the first sensor, it turns something on, and when you hit the second sensor, it turns it back off again. So one of the things that I think it's really good for would be something like a safety car. So basically, you would run that to your driver, which again, doesn't have to go all the way back to the driver. If you've got that daisy chain all around the track, this can plug in anywhere. The same on and off must come back to the same port, so you can't plug it in on one side and plug another one on the other side and have them work together, but you can get a decent amount of cable, and we have an extension cable. So you can then actually divide this as well into multiples, so that you can have your your active switch on one and your deactive switch on the other. But anyway, that's basically what we've got there. So as you can see, we'll plug something in. Let's just say we'll go with the Castrol light for this one. All right, so we'll stick that in there. Nothing until I hit the sensor. Right, there it is, all lit up. So it's just a beam sensor, right? Quite simple, but we have it on and off. So basically what we can do is run, say your safety car's parked on an off track. When the safety car is activated and it breaks the beam, it's going to turn the light on. Now it does a few laps, etc., comes back, and when it breaks the beam again, on the off switch, it turns all the lights back off. Now I think this is great for something like emergency track lighting, right around the track. You could even have some guy with a flag you can activate, as long as we can find a 12-volt mechanism that does it. But basically you can do anything that's 12 volts, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a light. You can make this do just about anything, but that's the most simple and most obvious use for it that I can see. So we've got that coming out as well. Now this will definitely be out before Easter. I just don't know when. The rest of the range will be out over the next couple of weeks, so that'll all be available to purchase through the website. I will do another video for this when this sensor system is up and running properly, and we can get that all working the way we would like it to, and we'll do another video then explaining it a little better. Now, the next step from here that's coming hopefully by the middle of the year, well, it will be by the middle of the year, is our new Wi-Fi system with an app. So basically you take everything we've just done, instead of a switch, we have a Wi-Fi receiver that interrupts whatever's going on in this lighting configuration. So that would sit, for example, if we were just going to run the Castrol sign, for example, plug that in there, we'd actually break that with a switch. Well, in this case, we'll be breaking that with a Wi-Fi module that'll sit in between. Now, again, that can go anywhere. It can be straight out of the driver. It can be on the other side of a junction box. It can be for one individual component. It can be for 6 components, different stations. If you did that daisy chain, you could have the last half of that never turn on until you turn it on with the Wi-Fi app. There's all different configurations, once again, that you can do that. Keep in mind, if you do want to individually switch each component, it will need its own individual Wi-Fi module, but they're not that expensive. So you can actually do some crazy stuff with that. It'll also be available with RGB, which gives you the color changing stuff as well, all on your app. So you can actually put, lighting inside a building of RGB and W. So you can have the white on during the day, and then at night time you can turn it to party mode and have disco lights flashing inside. Stuff like, I'm just prattling on with ideas as they're coming to me. I'm sure you guys could come up with 100 other things you could do with this lighting system, but that's the basics, and that'll get you started. So to get yourself started, a driver, maybe a junction box if you want, and one component is really all you need to get started, and then you can build from there. And this system isn't going to change even when the Wi-Fi stuff is introduced. So don't be concerned about having to upgrade later to Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi will just work straight in with this. So certainly something you can do. And I'm not supposed to say anything, but by 2026, we will have the fully integrated camera system. Now, we've mentioned this once or twice, but I can't give you too many details. But essentially, if you think about a home security system which has a screen with 12 cameras, okay, we're doing something very similar in Bluetooth, hidden in components around the track. So basically, out of sight from the average person who's standing around the track, but you will be able to see the race on your track from multiple angles. Now, at the moment, we're looking at 12, but we understand we may be able to go as far as 36 different cameras, all working on that one system. You can watch all of that. So while a couple of you are racing, especially if you don't have digital, if a couple of you are racing and a couple of you are standing around having a couple of beers, you can watch everybody else race, and you can see it from all those points, which is fantastic. The next evolution that we're waiting on, the reason we haven't brought that to market yet is we're waiting on the Bluetooth component that allows you to video that on your phone while it's happening. 30 seconds later, it's on Instagram. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So that system is coming throughout the year. I'll tell you more about that when it comes. I can't tell you any more than that, which I probably just about told you everything anyway, but keep an eye out for that. We'll certainly be doing a video on that one because that's going to be a lot of fun. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you come up with some really cool ideas to adapt this system further, reach out to us because we're all ears. We're all about involving you guys, developing the system and making it the best it can be. So thank you very much for watching the video. And as always, when in doubt, go flat out.